Shalom, shalom, shalom. We'll be right with y'all. Ashar Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom to everybody tuning in. Give us maybe about another 3 to 5 minutes to let the people come into the viewership. So in the meanwhile, we're gonna listen to some of our beloved brother Zion 7 and bring in the Shabbat that way. Here you go.
I came in the door, I read it before. He that shall endure, that's Matthew 24. Heart filled with joy, my knees hit the floor. Hallelujah, ain't trouble no more. Yahweh Shai in his glory seated up on the throne. Nehemiah lifted me up, said welcome home. My first time feeling, no pressure, stress. Daughters of Zion, shamefaced and modestly dressed. All look regal and all look royal. Meat offerings for Yahweh, flour mingled with oil. Paul saluted me, nodded and tilted his cup. Isaiah, Peter, and Joshua just chopping it up. Moses slammed down his hand and yelled domino. On Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. The heathen hauled water uphill, commanded a Noah. Hamashiach dipped his finger and said, keep the party going. Let's go. You know it ain't you hoping that what he's spoken doesn't fall upon your hand. Cause you gon' get the tokens of what you sowing. Let's just see if you repay. You can tell by his life, is it still like the night? Do it crash with the waves? Originally, you might wanna change your way. When I'm alone in my room, sometimes I stare at the wall, and in the back of my mind, the divine creator of all things, in the earth below and heaven above. Open my eyes and show me what was love. Life and death before me is set. Zion, here it is. Just keep my commandments and live. That's what I did. I'd be lying if I said that it was flawlessly done, but perfected by 1 John and 1. Back to the scene. Pristine Nana gave me a plate. Solomon need a partner for space. As do I play. Glanced to my left when I heard a voice summon children to be careful and stop running. My wife was stunning. I had show. Who is that woman? Ezra said that's Mordecai's cousin. All movement stops when we heard the blast of the shofar. Heads lifted and we praised our Lord. And y'all know what you know it ain't you hoping that what he's spoken doesn't fall upon your hand. Cause you gon' get the tokens of what you sowing. Let's just see if you remain. You can tell by his life, is it still like the night? Do it crash with the waves? Originally, you might wanna change your life.
All right. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Bro, I can come off turn your camera on. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Shabbat shalom, Ashar Shabbat to everybody, all the Israelites scattered to the four corners of the earth. I'm Ambassador Yabatazar.
And I'm Ambassador Barak. Shalom, shalom, Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. I hope y'all having a great evening. You know, for us in the Midwest, it's freezing cold. I think it was like, 10 degrees this morning when I got up to head out to the plantation. So it's been pretty cold. And usually during this time of the year, man, after January, you know, pretty much most of the American celebrations are over with, you know. So this is pretty much a downtime for people. A great time for people to sit back and reflect on what they call the last year. thinking about the things that they've done or the things that they may not have done that they wanted to do, or things that they should have done that they did do that they know they should not have done. So it's a great time to reflect. The day gets darker quicker. Obviously, they changed the times. They roll time forward and backwards as the season changed. So, it's a real good time for people to sit back and, definitely study and get their spirit back in line and go back and research the things that you're not sure about. Because, it's always imperative that we look in the mirror and we look at the things that we worship and the things that we study and we believe in and that we hold tight, to a grip, like somebody snatching you up in your collar like that, things that we hold dear and near to us. So my question is, what do we idolize? And what we idolize, does that mean we're in idolatry? And better yet, do we even know what idolatry means, right? So before we really get into it, let me say what's up to the beautiful family out there, the Mashpaka. Shalom, Sister Kana, all the way down in Houston. Adiyah, Sister Wanda Wanda, all the way, always on here with us. Shalom to my sister. Shalom to Ambassador Masha, Ambassador Yadari Gabar. And yeah, brother, I know New York is cold, man. I know New York is cold as a polar bear's toenail. Straight up. Hey, bro, I posted out there the other day, man. I went outside and I feel like I got jumped on. Like I got rat packed by a gang of dudes, man. That's how bad that cold air and that chill was hitting me, man. I felt beat up. I mean, fingers numb. This type of weather, you can lose a limb and all of that, and that's why it's a good time for you to be indoors where it's warm. Chilling with your family, spending time with us on the Shabbat. And we apologize for being missing the past couple of weeks. Had a few things going on with family, being sick, elders and all of that. And you have to take care of the elders, or you don't want to be looked at as one who's denied the faith or an infidel, right? That's what you say. Shabbat shalom to Mother Bathaya. What did you say, bro? Gang of wins, con out of one. Right. Into the cold fist of the Wu-Tang. Ching, ching, ching. So
he don't know, still cold, man.
Man, bro, talking about, man, that type of cold that hits your spine, man, it stays with you for a few hours. And obviously this weather's where our bodies are not really conducive to this weather because we're from Israel. We're from a warm region, a warm climate. And don't get it twisted because in the wintertime it got cold in Israel too. And I'm going to prove that because Christ even says something about that in the scriptures. So as we know, we just came out of what we call the American holiday season, right? And I really had something big I was going to do on it, but like I said, certain things went into it. So I don't want to make this whole thing about Christmas because it's beyond the fact. And there's been a lot of classes on Christmas, and we've done many before. But when we sit back and we listen to these communications of talking with our people, why they do these things, no matter what we tell them, show them what the scriptures say and things of that nature, most times is because they're only dealing it from a carnal aspect, which we know. I think this is another one, Namaz right here. This right here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and block that. Yeah, I learned about that last time. I guess they do that in the spam pages. So anyway, so I went on and blocked that person. So anyway, when we sit back and we think about these things, the Christmas holiday, Thanksgiving, eventually we got Easter coming up. We just had the celebration of the New Year in the middle of the winter time when everything is dead. And there's another one. These people are ridiculous. And when you talk to a lot of your family members and you try to, talk to them about it, you get frustrated because they just don't have ears to hear and they don't have eyes to see, and it's like the ears are so dull that you feel like you're throwing a rock against a brick, and it's not going nowhere, right? So what I wanted to do was just to ask ourselves, do we even understand what idolatry is? Do we know what paganism is? And do we have any understanding how did it get mixed in with the Bible? Now, let me correct myself. It's not that it got mixed in with the Bible, it's that man took their own paganistic ways and added them to what they call Christianity. Because none of that stuff you'll find in the Bible. But they'll argue up and down with you because they do it for the Bible. They believe in Christ and all of those things and blah, blah, blah. And they also do it for the kids, right? Same thing with the birthdays, Thanksgiving, all the holidays, the 4th of July. We've broken down the 4th of July. We've broken down Planned Parenthood, the destruction of the black family. We tapped into a lot of these areas, and a lot of times we bang our heads up against the wall. So do me a favor, Adawan. Give me 2 Corinthians 10 and 5.
Con, one con.
2 Corinthians 10 and 5. And actually, I might want you to start up at 4. Yep, Con.
Okay. This is the book of Second Corinthians.
Start
at verse 3. Okay. This is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 10. For we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds.
Go ahead.
Casting down imaginations, every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of the Most High, and bringeth into captivity every thought to the obedience of the Mashiach. I'm in class. So I can.
Yeah, bring verse 5 down again.
All right. This is 2 Corinthians, chapter 10, verse 5. Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of the Most High, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of the Mashiach Yahushua.
Right. So we understand that our weapons of warfare are not carnal, right? So when we're going out here dealing with our people, whether it's directly with our families in the house or people, strangers in the streets, we got to understand that the weapons that we're fighting with are not carnal. We're fighting spiritual warfare. We're bringing things to light that have been in darkness. We're bringing things that have been hidden to the forefront. So for a lot of people, our people, because they're in a carnal mindset, and when we're battling them, they're battling in their flesh, but they're not in a spiritual battle or in a spiritual way because they don't have that spiritual understanding. So again, our job is to cast down them imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the power of the Most High, right? And all those things, bringing those things into captivity towards Christ, right? But how do you do that if they don't want to hear the Bible? It's Jesus' birthday. We do it for the kids. We know thousands of millions of people got murdered by the pilgrims and the colonialists, but we're still going to celebrate Thanksgiving. We know a bunny cannot have babies. An Easter bunny cannot produce eggs, but we're still going to have our kids do the Easter egg hunt. And a lot of times our people do practice these things is because they don't know the origins of them. They don't know where they come from, the paganism behind it, the true history behind it, and how it was introduced to them. Right? So do me a favor, give me Romans 1, and I think I want Romans 1 and 21. I think that's what I got. Romans 1 and 21. We're going to bring a few things out. Yeah, Khan. First, Romans 1 and 21. You're on mute. You're on mute, Adawan.
God, throw it out on.
Oh, they ain't laughing at my fro. I sure been letting it grow out some. It's cold.
Hey, at least you can grow one. I can't. This is the book of Romans, chapter 1, verse 21. Because that, when they knew the Most High, they glorified him not as the Most High, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened.
God, right, because they knew not the Most High, and a lot of times our people say that they know him, and they really don't. Because if they knew him, they would know, they would be in this book, and they would understand the things in this book that prohibits us from doing certain things. So in order for them to understand those things, we're going to have to take a little trip down in history to show them where the mixing of the races came in, which is how we became this so-called melting pot in America with us coming on slave ships and everybody else coming on planes and cruise ships. But we got to find out, how did this paganism, these customs of men, become ingrained in our mindset, in our members, to be partakers of that, right? Because it says, we became vain in our imaginations, where our hearts or our minds were foolish. And in 22 it says, professing themselves to be wise, and they became fools, right? And changing the incorruptible image of God into something that's corruptible, right? So one more scripture before we jump over real quick. Give me Ephesians 6 and 12 out of one. Ephesians 6 and 12. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. You still on mute, out of one.
Salakia. This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Right. It's not the flesh and blood, but it's the principalities and the powers against the rulers of the dark places of this world. So who are the rulers of this world? Esau, the other nations. And everything that they do, we've been taught to do. When the Most High told us not to follow after the ways of the heathens. Don't be envious of them, right? So what I want to do, and the brother Nawa, Ambassador Nawa, brought this book out maybe a few weeks ago. So I just want to tap into it. It's called the name of the book is called The Two Babylons, right? And this is a free PDF. If anybody wants me to drop this PDF, I can drop this link in the group. You can have access to it. Just let me know ahead of time before we're done, and I'll drop this link in there. So I just want to deal with certain things that we celebrate and we have no idea of the origins of it. So this is chapter 3 of The Two Babylons, which was written by Alexander Hislop. It says chapter 3, festivals, section 1, Christmas and Lady Day. And let me zoom this. Oh, you know what? Let me do my share screen, Salakia. Let me do my screen share. Okay. All right. Let me know when y'all can see that. Can y'all see it now? Other one?
Kind of one. I got the PDF open too. I'm just trying to. What page? 18?
Yeah, that's page 85.
85. Ooh, yeah. I'm gonna type it in.
Yeah, we're in page 85, right? So I'll go ahead and read. I'm probably going to do most of the reading because I don't know exactly where I want to go. But I just want to point a couple of things out to you guys as we go forward, right? So it says chapter 3, festivals, section 1, Christmas and Lady Day. Remember this. Lady Day. It says, if Rome be indeed the Babylon of the apocalypse, and Madonna enshrined in her sanctuaries be the very queen of heaven, for the worshiping of whom the fierce anger of the Most High was provoked against the Jews in the day of Jeremiah, it is of the last consequence that the fact should be established beyond all possibility of doubt. For that being once established, everyone who trembles at the word of the Most High must shudder at the very thought of giving such a system, either individually or nationally, the least countenance or support. Something has been said already that goes far to prove the identity of the Roman and Babylonian systems. But at every step, the evidence becomes even more overwhelming. That which arises from comparing the different festivals is peculiarly so. And what's interesting about this is that this is a Gentile, this is a heathen. He figured this out. And the reason why he was probably able to figure this out before a lot of us is because it was his people who practiced these paganistic rituals and customs, right? So it reads in the next paragraph, the festivals of Rome are innumerable, but 5 of the most important may be singled out for elucidation. Christmas Day, Lady Day, Easter, the Nativity of John, and the Feast of Assumption. Now, I know a lot of us don't know what Lady Day is or what the Feast of Assumption is, but I'm going to give you a quick run through them real quick, right? I'm going to come back to them, but we're going to run through them real quick. It says each one of these can be proved to be Babylonian. Did y'all just see that? Christmas Day, Lady Day, Easter, the Nativity of St. John, and the Feast of Assumption can be proved to be Babylonian. Non-biblical, has nothing to do with the Israelites or anything to do with the Bible, right? And it reads, at first, as to the festival in honor of the birth of Christ, or Christmas. How comes it that the festival was connected with the 25th of December? There is not a word in scriptures about the precise day of his birth or the time of the year when he was born. What is recorded there implies that at what time soever his birth took place, it could not have been on the 25th of December. At that time that the angel announced his birth to the shepherds of Bethlehem, they were feeding their flocks by the night in the open fields. Now, no doubt the climate of Palestine is not so severe as the climate of this country, meaning made a comparison between America and Palestine, which is actually Israel. But even there, though the heat of the day be considerable, the cold of the night from December to February is very piercing, and it was not the custom of the shepherds of Judea to watch their flocks in the open field later than about the end of October, meaning that during a certain time of the year in Jerusalem or in Israel, from December to February, it was piercing cold, meaning that you would not see the shepherds out in the fields during that time of the year. All you got to do is walk past an American farm and watch in the spring and the summer, then the fall, then once late November, December and all that, you rarely see them animals out there. You rarely see the cows out there. And if you do see them, you see them grazing early in the morning and then through certain periods of the day, but they usually have them locked away in a barn. Same thing with sheep herders, right? So let me see how I want to go in here. Let me drop down. Let me see if I want something out of here. No, I don't want that. All right, it reads right here. It says, it is in the last degree incredible then that the birth of Christ could have taken at the end of December. There's great unanimity among commentators on this point besides Barnes, Doddridge, Lightfoot, Joseph Scaliger, and Jennings in his Jewish Antiquities, who were all opinion that December 25th could not be the right time of the Lord's nativity. Right? So even these guys at this time, and even in the writings of the Jewish Antiquities, in our literature, they already had it written that it was not possible for this to be Christ's birth because it didn't line up with the scriptures, right? But check this out. It says, after a long and careful disquisition on the subject among the arguments, he adduces the following. At the birth of Christ, every woman and child was to go to be taxed at the city whereto they belonged. Whether some had long journeys, but the middle of winter was not fitting for such a distance, especially for women and children to travel in. Therefore, Christ could not be born in the depths of the winter, right? So I'm looking for something. Here it is right here. Again, at the time of Christ's birth, the shepherds lay abroad watching with their flocks in the nighttime, but this was not likely to be in the middle of winter. And if any shall think the winter wind was not so extreme in these parts, let him remember the word of Hamashiach Yahushua in the Gospels. When he told us when we're fleeing, when we're supposed to flee from the Romans, he says, pray that your flight be not in the winter. It says, if the winter was so bad a time to flee in, it seems no time fit for shepherds to lie in the fields in, and women and children to travel. Why? And because of that type of weather. It just didn't make sense, right? So let me drop down right here. It says, how then did the Roman church fix on December 25th as Christmas Day? Why thus long before the 4th century and long before the Christian era itself, a festival was celebrated amongst the heathen? Did y'all catch that? They're saying long before the 4th century, long before Christianity ever started, it was a festival that was celebrated among the heathen at the precise time of the year in honor of a birth of a son of the Babylonian queen of heaven. And it may fairly be presumed that in order to conciliate the heathen and to swell the swell the number of nominal adherents of Christianity, the same festival was adopted by the Roman Church, giving it the name of Christ, meaning that this was a pagan custom from the ancient Babylonians with the Babylonian goddess Ashtoreth. who was also known to the Egyptians as Isis or Ashtoreth, right? So it's saying in order for them to swell the number of the followers of Christianity, they had to combine this Babylonian pagan day and to give it the name of Christ, right? So the term Christmas comes from the Babylonian Queen of Heaven, celebrating the birth of her son, right? It says this tendency on the part of Christians to meet paganism halfway was very clearly developed, and we find Tertullian, even in his day, about the year 230, bitterly lamenting the inconsistency of the disciples of Christ in this respect and contrasting it with the strict fidelity of the pagans to their own superstitions. By us, says he, we are strangers to Sabbath and new moons and festivals. Did y'all hear that? The heathens were all strangers to the Sabbath and the new moons and the Most High's holy days, his festivals, his holy feasts. So the Roman church, to woo these people in, replaced the Sabbath and new moons and the festivals with these very things I'm about to break down, right? And it says, by us, says he, who are strangers to Sabbath and new moons and festivals, once acceptable to God, the Saturnalia, the feast of January, Brahmalia, and Matronalia are now frequented. Gifts are carried to and fro. New Year's Day presents are made with din and sports, and banquets are celebrated with uproar. Oh, how much more faithful are the heathen to their religion, whose banquets are celebrated with uproar. Salakia. I'm right here. Sorry about that. How much more faithful are the heathen to their religion, who take special care to adopt no solemnity from the Christians? Meaning that even though they came into Christianity, they didn't take on to the tenets of Christianity, but continued on with their own traditions, right? Which also became a part of the Christian tradition as well, right? So let's take a look at a couple of these things right here, right? Let's go to Matronalia, okay? Let's take a look at what Matronalia is, right? And see how this fits, right? Matronalia, the festival of women and motherhood. It says Juno Lucina, and let me just increase the font for y'all to see. It says Juno Lucina is the goddess of the newborn infants. She is the goddess of the birth, the goddess who aids women during pregnancy and brings their child into the light. What light? Women who were going into labor soon would make offerings to her for a safe delivery of her baby. Whenever a Roman child was born, by a royal decree of Rex Servius Tullius, the parents would make an offering to the temple of Juno Lucina, usually a coin. Then the child's name would then be added to the record of all births in the city. Juno Lucina was also called upon by newlyweds to help them to successfully conceive a child, right? So here's some of the imagery from that. I think Chief Priest just come on. Give me a second. Shabbat Shalom, Chief Priest.
Shalom.
So as we're seeing, which is I'm going over Matronalia, right? And pretty much Matronalia is the festival of women and motherhood, right? So this is some of the ancient art and images that they had, right? It says Juno Capitolinum, the goddess of the sanctity of marriage vows and marital relations, was another goddess called upon by new brides and wives. Juno Lucina is not the same goddess as Juno Capitolinum, but they do, however, concern two aspects of being a wife and a mother. Guess where this leads to? Mother's Day. So you thought we were just going to be dealing with Christmas, but that's where Matronalia comes from. Mother Day originates from Matronalia. It says in the Middle Ages, those who have moved away from home will return on Matronalia to their old hometowns to visit their families and also their mother church. Servants would also be given the day off to return to their homes, and they were allowed to pick flowers from their master's garden to bring to their homes. This is how the custom of bringing one's mothers some flowers on Mother's Day began. It says later on, Matronalia evolved into being called Mother's Day in Europe. The celebration was also moved to the fourth Sunday of Lent. In the United States, Mother's Day falls in the month of May, which is held to honor the humanitarian work carried out by women during civil Civil War. Did I just hear somebody else pop on? Okay, he just fell off. All right, so that's just a brief breakdown of Saturnalia. Saturnalia was a Roman feast or celebration of women, right? And motherhood, right? This is how we wind up getting into the whole thing of celebrating Mother's Day. This is a Roman custom. It's a paganist custom, right? So one of the other things that I said on here was Brumalia. Let's get Brumalia. It says right here, it says, and I don't want to go too deep into all of them. It says Brumalia was an ancient Roman winter solstice festival honoring Saturn, Kronos, Ceres, Demeter, and Bacchus in some cases. So since we're bringing up Bacchus, I have to go into the Apocrypha. So what that should let you know that Brumalia is a Greek custom. It was a Greek holiday, and I'm going to bring it up, see if I can bring it up real quick. Let me see if this will be a good one. All right. This is Emporium Romanum, right? Let me grab this real quick. And it says Brumalia was a month-long festival in honor of Bacchus or Saturn, the Greek god Kronos. Talking about Zeus, Thor, and all those guys, the Greek gods. This feast was celebrated on November 24th. The name of the holiday comes from the word bruma, which meaning the short of day. It is believed that the celebration began the first king of Rome, which is not true. This actually started in Greece. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Let me get that.
You got to remember, though, at one point they were merged. That's where we get the Greco-Roman Empire from. So
right,
they were merged at one point.
Right. I'm trying to find it in the Apocrypha real quick. Yep. Hey, Barak, grab me 2 Maccabees chapter 6 and hold that. 2 Maccabees chapter 6.
Got another one.
Is that where I want? Right. So anyway, it is believed that this celebration began the first king of Rome, Romulus. The legendary ruler was supposed to entertain senators, the army, and service throughout the month. To this end, he invited other personalities to play, blah, blah, blah. During Brumalia, the goddesses Detmer and Kronos sacrificed a pig growers and Dionysius a goat growers. The goat was considered the enemy of the wine. A sack full of air was made from her skin as she jumped on it. Ordinary Romans in turn offered gifts to Ceres, wine, olive oil, honey, and grain to the priests of the goddesses. There was a cheerful mood during the festival, right? It says the Romans focused on this army culture and hunting. They considered that's not really important right there, that portion right here. So I just wanted to give you an idea of Bacchus, right? So go ahead and read me. Start with 2 Maccabees chapter 6, verse 1. Because you'll have to understand something. A lot of these holidays that we celebrate, we don't know why we celebrate them. A lot of us don't know why we even are familiar with them. But if you understand history, a lot of these customs and things were forced onto us by the Roman Catholic Church, by the so-called Crusaders, by the Jewish man. Because remember, the scripture says that our enemies will make a tumult, right? Which is a snare, a stumbling block, a trap. So go ahead and read 2 Maccabees 6 and 1 for me out of 1.
Got another one. This is the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 1. Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of the Most High, and to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem, and to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympus, and that in Gerizim of Jupiter, the defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in the place. The coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people.
Let's stop right there. So the coming in of this mischief during the time of the Greeks, and they're being forced to worship these other gods. And they could not, they had to depart from the laws of the Most High and not live after the customs of our forefathers, right? Go ahead.
For the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles, who dallied with harlots and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places, and besides that brought in things that were not lawful.
Uh-huh.
The altar was also filled with profane things which the law forbiddeth. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep the Sabbath days or ancient fasts, or to profess himself a Jew or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
Right. So it was not lawful for us to keep the Sabbath days or the ancient feast days, right? So it's no coincidence that these things were forced upon us because we couldn't even profess to be who we were, the actual Jews, which is the same thing today. So it's no slight thing that we see the same thing when it comes down to keeping the Sabbath days. Our people argue with us and saying that the Greeks told them that the Sabbath day was done away with. We don't have to keep the ancient feast days of God anymore. And no, we're not the Jews. We're Gentiles, right? There's nothing new under the sun. So what we seen then is the same thing now. But go ahead.
2 Maccabees, verse 7. And in the day of the king's birth, every month they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices. And when the feast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus, carrying ivy. Moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen by the suggestion of Ptolemy against the Jews, that they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifices.
Right. And when I first learned about the Feast of Bacchus and really started doing my research, and it was some years ago, the Feast of Bacchus is very similar to what we used to see at Mardi Gras down in Louisiana and New Orleans. It's the same custom. But again, these things were forced upon our people, right? So when we try to figure out why our people do these things and they're so stubborn and rebellious, it's because they've been doing it for thousands of years or hundreds of years and generation to generation. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of what Brumalia was. And I think I gave you the other one. And let me see, where am I at? Did he say Saturn? Let's get Saturnalia, right? So I'm going to read this real quick. Let me see. It says Saturnalia, held in mid-December, is an ancient Roman pagan honor. Slaki is the ancient Roman pagan festival honoring agricultural god Saturn. Saturnalia celebrations are the source of many of the traditions we now associate with Christmas. What is Saturnalia? Saturnalia, the most popular holiday on the ancient Roman calendar, derived from one older farming relating rituals of midwinter and winter solstice, especially the place of offering gifts or sacrificing to gods during the winter sowing season. The pagan celebration of Saturn, the Roman god of agriculture and time, began as a single day by the late Republic, 133 to 31 BC. It had expanded to a week-long festival, beginning December 17th. On the Julian calendar, which the Romans used at the time, the winter solstice fell on December 25th. So let's get a little more. It says, how do Romans celebrate Saturnalia? During Saturnalia, work and business came to a halt. Schools and courts of law closed, and the normal social patterns were suspended. Wait a minute. My granddaughter just had 3 weeks off from school.
Yep.
For the Christmas holiday. The courts were closed for a period of time for those particular days, and then normal social patterns were suspended. What is that? People getting up, going to work, right? It says people decorated their homes with wreaths and other greeneries and shed their traditional togas in favorable of colorful clothes known as synthesis. Even slaves did not have to work during Saturnalia. Ain't the white man good?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't the master so good to us? We didn't have to work on Saturnalia, and here it is in 2021. We don't have to work on Christmas. Mm-hmm. But it says even the slaves did not have to work during Saturnalia, but were allowed to participate in the festivities. In some cases, they sat at the head of the tables while their masters served them. It says, instead of working, Romans spent Saturnalia gambling, singing, playing, feasting, socializing, and giving each other gifts. I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to stop right there. Right? So we're going to go right here. Right back where we were. It says, by us, meaning those pagans, those heathens, by us saying, he who are strangers to Sabbath and new moons and festivals, once acceptable to the Most High, the Saturnalia, the feast of January, the Brumalia and Matronalia are now frequented. Gifts are carried to and fro. New Year's Day presents are made with din, and sports and banquets are celebrated with uproar. Oh, how much more faithful are the heathen to their religion. So our people who are out here celebrating all these days and not understanding the customs, you are even more faithful to the religion of the heathens than you are to the God of the Bible that you say you believe in. You're more faithful to these pagan worshipings and these rites of the heathens, the ones that conquered you, that you ignore the truth, right? So it says, let me just scroll down some. Here we go. It says, I'm right here. It says, upright men strive to stem the tide, but in spite of all their efforts, the apostasy went on till the church, with the exception of a small remnant who submerged under pagan superstition. That Christmas was originally a pagan festival. I'm going to read that again. It says that Christmas was originally a pagan festival. It is beyond all doubt the time of the year and ceremonies with which it is still celebrated proved its origin in Egypt, the son of Isis, the Egyptian title for the Queen of Heaven, who was born at this very time, about the time of the winter solstice, right? The very name by which Christmas is popularly known among ourselves, Yule Day, proves at once its pagan and Babylonian origin. Yule is the Chaldean name for an infant or little child, and the 25th day of December was called by our pagan Anglo-Saxon ancestors Yule Day or Child's Day, and the night that it preceded Mother Night, long before they came into contact with Christianity. That sufficiently proves its real character, right? And I'm not going to be much longer here. I'm looking for this thing right here. Right, where is it? They also had another thing that they celebrated in December. It says on the 24th of the 10th month, that is December, according to our reckoning, right here. I'm Salakia. Actually, I'm going to start right here. Right here. This is where I'm at, Salakia. It says, among the Sabians of Arabia, the same period was observed as the birth festival. Thus we read in Stanley Sabian's philosophy, on the 24th of the 10th month, that is December, according to our reckoning, the Arabians celebrated the birth of the Lord, that is the moon. The Lord moon was the great object of Arabian worship, and that Lord moon, according to them, was born on the 24th of December, which clearly shows that the birth which they celebrated had no necessary connection with the course of the sun. It is worthy of special note that if Christmas Day among the ancient Saxons of this island was observed to celebrate the birth of any lord of the host of heaven, the case must have been precisely the same here as it was in Arabia. The Saxons, is as well known, regarded the sun as a female divinity and the moon as a male. So this is going back into the pagan ways of the Arabs before they so-called became monotheistic. I believe, how many gods did they have a year? For did they have like a god or every day of the week? Before, I believe, according to what the records say, before Muhammad converted them, right? So these guys, they worship a female sun, the sun as a female divinity, and the moon as a male. So they had a moon god. All of this coincides around the time of Christmas, right? It right here says it must have been the birth of the Lord moon, therefore not of the sun, so that was celebrated by them on the 25th of December, even as the birthday of the same Lord Moon was observed by the Arabians on the 24th of December. The name of the Lord Moon in the East seems to have been many, for this appears to be the most natural interpretation of the divine statement in Isaiah. But ye are they that forsake my holy mount, that you prepare a temple for God, and furnish the drink offerings unto many. There is reason to believe that God refers to the sun god, and we're not talking about the tribal god. We're talking about a pagan god named God that was the sun god, right? So I just wanted to show y'all a couple of things. And another thing that they spoke about was Lady Day, right? Now, Lady Day this is another thing that got mixed up with Christianity, right? It says the vernal equinox. Now comes the vernal equinox, and the season of spring reaches its apex. And let me just zoom this in a little bit more.
Go on.
It says now comes, I'll do it one more. That count was pretty strong. All right, come. It says now comes the vernal equinox, and the season of spring reaches its apex. Halfway through his journey from Candlemas to Beltane, once again, night and day stand in perfect balance with the powers of light on the ascendancy. The god of light now wins a victory over his twin, the god of darkness. And the Mabinogian myth reconstruction that I proposed, that this is the day on which the restored Lu takes his vengeance on Gonrinwe by piercing him with the sunlight spear. For Lu was restored, reborn at the winter solstice, and is now well old enough to vanquish his rival twin and mate with his lover mother. Whoa. And the great mother goddess, who had returned to her virgin aspect at Candlemas, welcomes the young sun god's embraces and conceives a child. There's your mother goddess having a child with her sun god, and they conceive a child. The child was born 9 months from now and at the next winter solstice, so as the cycle closes at last. We think the customs surrounding the celebration of the spring equinox were imported from Mediterranean lands, although there can be no doubt that the first inhabitants of the British Isles observed it, as evidence from the megalithic site shows, right? Let me zoom this down just a little bit, because I'm cutting some corners right here. All right, but it was certainly more popular to the south, where people celebrated the holiday as New Year's Day and claimed it as the first day of the first sign of the zodiac Aries. However, if you look at it, it is certainly a time of new beginnings, as a simple glance at nature will prove. In the Roman Catholic Church, there are two holidays that get mixed up with the vernal equinox. The first occurring on the fixed calendar day of March 25th in the old liturgical calendar is the Feast of Annunciation of the Blessed Virgin, right? Or BVM, as she was typically abbreviated in Catholic missals. Annunciation means an announcement. That is the day when the archangel Gabriel announced to Mary that she was in the family way. So in other words, this is what's leading into that virgin birth mythology, right? It's going into mixing up their paganistic ways and mixing it up with the Bible, right? Let's see. It says, naturally, this had to be announced since Mary, being still a virgin, would have no other means of knowing it. Quit scoffing, oh you little faith. Why did the church pick the vernal equinox for the commemoration of this event? Meaning that they took this vernal equinox, something that they were doing for centuries before Christianity, and the Catholic Church blended all of this in to be the commemoration of the birth of Jesus Christ or of the Virgin Mary, right? It says, because it is necessary to have Mary conceive the child Jesus a full 9 months before his birth at the winter solstice. Do y'all now see how this is getting mixed up with Christmas? It says, Mary conceived the child Jesus a full 9 months before his birth at the winter solstice. Christmas, celebrated on a fixed calendar date of December 25th. Right? Y'all see this?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, come.
Come. And I think this is another thing I wanted to look at. What is this? No, I don't think this one. I was looking at this one, right? This is Ferragostos, right? And this was listed in the same booker, right? It says Ferragosto is a day dedicated to friends, family, friends, and fireworks, a long week of blah, 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 blah. right here. It says, while the holiday resembles Labor Day in spirit, August 15th celebrates the assumption of the Virgin Mary into heaven. Still, this festivity, which lasted longer than a date, dates back to 18 BC. Y'all see that? 18 BC, when the first Roman emperor, Ottaviano Augusto introduced Augusta Feri, or Augusto's Rest, right? It said, inspired by the pagan festival for consuls, the Roman god of land and fertility, Augusto's entire empire participated during the month of August in events celebrating the harvest and the end of agricultural work. This mainly served the rural community who were granted a rest period from their hard work during the previous week. Ferragosto was celebrated on August 1st with horse racing festivities and lavish florations, right? I'm trying to drop down somewhere. It says around the 7th century, the Catholic Church adopted the holiday but changed the date of celebration from August 1st to August 15th, coinciding with the Assumption of the Virgin Mary is celebrated. So again, for those of us in the know, we know that Christ had a father, which was Joseph. But all this paganism that we see, where do we learn this from? We did not learn this from the Bible, family. You cannot find none of these traditions, and I'm going to stop my screen share. You cannot find none of these traditions, none of them, nowhere around in this book. And if you find any slight hints of it, you'll see the prophets rebuking our people for doing what? Idolatry. Taking on the traditions of men. Taking on vain customs, right? So let me see what's been going on in the chat. Oh, you want that PDF, Ottawa? Let me get that real quick. Let me go and drop that in the link. Let me go and drop that in the link. I seen you, Kedaya. So I'm dropping a link for everybody for the two Babylons, right? Con. Let me just check in with the chat real quick. All right, Con. Shalom, happy Shabbat, Sister Treese Carson. Shalom, Akmalak. Who else is in here? I seen Treese Carson, Yediah. Okay, Con. So anyway, I'm going here because we got to ask ourselves, what is idolatry? By us keeping these things and these customs, are we in idolatry? Our people don't know. So I got something I want to share with you again. Then we're going to get into the scriptures. So right here, and I'm going to zoom this in a little bit as much as I can. All right, this is from the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, right? It says idolatry, right? It's idolatry in ancient times included two forms of departure from the true religion, the worship of false gods, whether by means of images or otherwise, and the worship of Yahweh by means of images. All nations surrounding ancient Israel were idolatrous. All their idolatry assumed different forms. The early Semites of Mesopotamia worshiped mountains, springs, trees, and blocks of stones, in which the deity was supposed to be in some sense incarnate. A typical example of such wooden representation is the sacred pole, the idol of his clan, which Gideon also had, and I got that scripture. Gideon did something like that, which was a stumbling block. It says the religion of the Egyptians centered mostly about the veneration of the sun and of the Nile as a source of life. They also had a number of sacred animals, the bull, the cow, the cat, the baboon, the crocodile, etc. Some of the deities had human bodies and animal heads. Among the Canaanites, religion took on a very barbarous character. The chief gods were personifications of life and fertility. The gods had no moral character whatsoever, and worship of them carried with it a demoralizing practices, including human sacrifice, prostitution, snake worship, and human and animal images of the deities were worshipped. The Israelites, on succeeding to the land, were commanded to destroy all these idols. So anything that was contrary to the law, statutes, commandments, and the customs that the Most High had given us, our people forsook. So let's go over to the book of Exodus chapter 32. Exodus 32 and 1 out of 1.
Oh, this is the book of Exodus, chapter 2. Oh, wait, hold on. Exodus, chapter.
Slack, let me put my screen share back up. I'm a little rusty. So yeah, we're starting up at Exodus 32 and 1. And
32 and 1.
Yeah, I'm sorry, nope. Yeah, 32 and 1. Give me a second. I'll be saying numbers in reverse sometimes in my old age. All right, Con, go ahead, Otto one.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 32, verse 1. And when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mount, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron and said unto him, Up, make us gods, which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, this man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we wot not what is become of him.
Meaning that what they're saying is that when Moses was on up to the mountain to meet the Most High and finished his calling and what he was called to do, they lost faith in the Most High and Moses and said to themselves, we don't know what's become of him. So there was like a faith, like a trust in the Most High, and a breaking of the covenant, because it'll tell you where their vain imaginations went. Go ahead and read.
Come, verse 3, verse 2. And Aaron said unto them, Break off the golden earrings, which are in your ears of your wives, of your sons, and of your daughters, and bring them unto me. And all the people brake off the golden earrings which were in their ears, and brought them unto Aaron. And he received them at their hand, and fashioned it with a graving tool. And after he had made it a molten calf, and they said, These be thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out the land of Egypt.
Did y'all see that? Did y'all see that right there? They said, These be thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt. It's not a new thing for our people to go into idolatry. It's not a new thing for our people to turn their back on the Most High after he's delivered us or has blessed us and protected us. I mean, we have constant history of this through the scriptures. And we can see this same thing today. So we seen our forefathers who were right there and witnessed the Most High when Moses and Aaron did it, then we're even more susceptible. Because, Israel always wants a sign. They always want to see something. So for a lot of our people, they don't have the fear of the Most High or the understanding because they did not live at that time, right? But go ahead and read.
Verse 5. And when Aaron saw it, he built an altar for it. And Aaron made proclamation and said, Tomorrow is a feast to the Lord. And they rose up.
And a feast to the Lord, and what were they going to do? How were they going to worship him? According to the ways that they did in the land of Egypt. Drop down to verse 7, Otto one.
Verse 7. And the Most High said unto Moses, Go, get thee down, for thy people, which thou broughtest out of the land of Egypt, have corrupted themselves. They turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them.
Stop right there. Stop. You see what he said in verse 7? He said they turned aside quickly. As soon Moses was out of their sight, how they quickly flipped the script, went backwards, and turned their backs against the Most High. Go ahead.
They have made them a molten calf, and have worshipped it, and have sacrificed thereunto, and said, These be thy gods, O Israel, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt. And the Most High said unto Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people.
Right, we're going to stop right there. So, at this time, we had lived amongst the heathens and the pagans, and we had practiced their ways during the times we were living in Israel when we came in during the famine with Joseph, and then during the time after Joseph died when we were up under hard rigor servitude over in Egypt, right? So the Most High had told us not to do the things that we had seen down in Egypt, but guess what we do? It's just in our nature. It's got to be in our DNA to want to worship everything other than what God has commanded us to do. Because if it wasn't true, we wouldn't be in this captivity today. We wouldn't see our brothers down on the streets left and right. We wouldn't see all these single parent homes. We want to see our children being in the streets oppressing each other, robbing each other for the wealth of this American society, trying to be the biggest pimps, hustlers, killers, drug dealers, selling all type of poison to our people. This is a people that have been robbed and spoiled. So when you have something that's been robbed and spoiled, and we're going to use it from the aspect of something actually spoiling and rotting. I know all of us have opened up a carton of milk. I don't drink milk. We don't drink cow milk in my house. We drink almond milk. But we're just talking about in the day. Have you ever opened up some spoiled milk? Open up a container of food that is spoiled with that stench? That's the type of stench that we have on us as a nation because we're rebellious and stiff-necked. We don't want to hear the word of the Most High God. We want to hear what Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Dr. Fauci has to say, but never listen to the words that are coming off the lips of the prophets and the teachers, right? So let's jump over to 1 Kings chapter 12, because this is not the first time we've seen it, and it's not going to be the last time we've seen it. We're going to go over to 1 Kings. And we're going to start over at chapter 12, verse 26. Now, before we go a little further, before the brother starts reading, I just want y'all to understand a little bit of context, right? This is after King Solomon died, right? And, excuse me, there was already some division in Israel over the idolatry and the paganism of King Solomon when he started going off and worshiping other gods and things of that nature. That was one side. Even one of our greatest kings did it, right? But at this time, this was during the time of when Solomon's son, I believe his name was Jeroboam, was about to sit on the throne, right? So what happened was, Rehoboam. So Jeroboam, who was an Ephraimite, who was of the northern kingdom, he came up to Rehoboam and asked him, he said, hey, thy father Solomon made our yoke grievous. Now, therefore, thy father made our yoke grievous. Now, therefore, make thou the grievous service of thy father and his heavy yoke, which he put upon us, lighter, and we will serve thee. So this was a northern kingdom brother, a leader of the northern tribes, coming up to the soon newly crowned king, Rehoboam, saying, hey, brother, if you remove that grievous yoke up off of us, like your father did, and make it lighter, we will come serve thee. So this was an opportunity for the nation to stay together. So again, in this scenario, Rehoboam did not listen to the men that walked with his father Solomon, but listened to the men of his youth, and he did the thing. He forsook the counsel of the elder men and consulted with those younger men, which had no wisdom. So in other words, he told that man, not only am I going to make the yoke that my father had on you stay, but I'm going to increase it to where it's even more grievous, right? So this was pride coming in, which was also part of the destruction and the division and the separation of the 12 tribes, because one king allowed his pride to get in the way. But guess what? But there was a domino effect that happened after that. So go ahead and read 1 Kings chapter 12 and start at 26. Twelve and 26. Are you there, other one? Oh,
yeah, I'm on mute. Sorry, there's people talking, so I just want to mute out of respect.
No, it's on you, King. 1 Kings 12 and 26.
This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 12, verse 26. And Jeroboam said in his heart, now shall the kingdom return to the house of David. If this people go up to do sacrifice in the house of the Most High at Jerusalem, then shall the heart of his people turn again to the Lord, even unto Rehoboam, king of Judah. And they shall kill me, and go again to Rehoboam, king of Judah.
Mm-hmm.
Whereupon the king took counsel, and made 2 calves of gold, and said unto them, it is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. Behold thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
Stop. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
We just saw that over in Exodus during the time of the wilderness. This is after we had King David and King Solomon, the two greatest kings that ever existed for our nation. The lineage, the blood lineage that Christ came from, right? He said, make 2 calves of gold and said unto them, it is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. So for one, he was deceiving the people and becoming a stumbling block for them, because he knew if they would have went up to Jerusalem and sacrificed in Solomon's temple, then the nation would have stayed together. So what did he have to do? He created a stumbling block. It says, behold thy gods, O Israel, we brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. Go ahead and read. Finish reading. Verse 29. You still on mute, other one?
God, I'm gonna just leave it on. I'll keep on doing it.
Yeah.
At verse 29, he set one in Bethel and he put the other in Dan. And this thing became a sin, for the people went to worship before the one, even unto Dan.
Verse 31.
And he made a house of high places and made priests of the lowest of the people, which were not of the sons of Levi. And Jeroboam ordained a feast in the 8th month, on the 15th day of the month, like unto the feast that is in Judah. And he offered upon the altar. So did he in Bethel, sacrificing unto the calves that he had made. And he placed in Bethel the priests of the high places which he had made.
Right. So we've seen this in Exodus chapter 32. We're seeing this over in 1 Kings 12. And then we read to you out of 2 Maccabees. I believe that was chapter 6 and verse 7. You see the same things? These were things that we did upon our own. And then eventually the heathen saw forcing these things upon us, right? So now we got to ask ourselves, when we celebrate, who are we selling for? Because okay.
Yeah, I had mine well done too.
Say what? I heard the noise. That's why I looked up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know if there was technical difficulties or what, or technical foul. But you know, like I was saying, when you worship these things, are you not realizing that you're worshiping the golden calf?
Gone.
It's the same thing. That Christmas tree, that turkey dinner, the fireworks, popping your guns on the 4th on New Year's. I mean, I never got there. What's the point of shooting your guns up in the air on New Year's? I mean, how is that a part of celebrating anything? I mean, what does it symbolize? The only thing I visualize when I see Jace doing that is when I watch them old Western white movies. And after they didn't rob or kill the whole town or took over the town, and ride through the town shooting and hollering and all of that. Where did we learn that from? Right? So I always ask our people, how much money do we spend on these occasions? I mean, when we take all these American holidays and then try to add, then the ones we want to add on to it, Kwanzaa, and like I just found out from one of my colleagues at work, he's from Russia and they're celebrating their Russian Christmas right now, which is all part of the.
Yeah, it's usually like the mid-January. It's usually mid-January that you get the Russian New Year's.
Yep. And it's all dealing with the same winter solstice.
Gone.
The same winter solstice.
The Lithuanians to be doing that too, because they was around by me and they're like, what is that? They're like, oh yeah, they do the Christmas right now. And I'm like, oh, all right.
Right. So for those of y'all who have never seen it, if you want to know about the Christmas tree, go ahead and read Jeremiah 10, 1-5 on your own. I mean, we brought that out so many times. I don't want to bring it out. I feel like we're beating a dead horse. You know, so I'd rather put the information in front of you. I put the link in there for you to go do your research on it. And then, you know, but pretty much it talks about know, that tree and how they deck it, and that it cannot speak nor hear. But guess what? The children worship that tree because they know when they see that tree, what's under it, which is broke down to you on the gifts of exchanging and all these different. What is it? What was it called? Let me get that word again.
What?
Let me get that. These words, they're like, for whatever reason, they're tripping up my tongue. Here it is.
The Feast of Bacchus?
No, not the Feast of Bacchus. Not that. It was that Bromelia.
The Brumalia. Yeah. That's weird. That's a weird word.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I mean, I even if we don't even go into the spiritual connotations of it, it's on a carnal level. It's like, hey, why would you go through all you have to go through? Let's say you celebrated that. You had to go through all you had to go through the whole year.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, hey, look, you had to do it out. I couldn't pay this bill. I had to, and then at the end of the year, the things that your kid wanted the most, and they're looking to you because you are their provider, you give that to some white dude that comes through your chimney.
Right.
And give them all they want that you couldn't give them.
Mm.
Like, what sense does that make?
It don't make a lot of sense.
All year, you're with them. All year, you provided for them. All year, they know you provided for them. Then at the end of the year, the thing that they wanted the most, whatever that might have been, they get it under a tree, and you give all that recognition to a big fat white dude.
Yep. And you know damn well you ain't got no chimney with that white man crawling down your chimney.
Even if you did, I'm not going to give that to him. I bust my ass for this. I worked overtime for this.
And you know what's crazy about it? Usually after this time of the year, everybody go broke. They dying to receive their income tax return check to balance it back out.
Hey, that's no coincidence, though. The way they do it, that's no coincidence. That's no coincidence. Everything is measured out, as the scriptures talks about. So they know what they're doing. It's a perpetual cycle that, I grew up in that, so I know.
Right. My mother, I was probably before my sister was born. I guess I was so excited. I probably was about 3 or 4. My sister probably was born when I was 4. So it's like, I remember my mother, like, I'm all excited. We live in a humble park. I'm all excited. Christmas coming. Santa Claus bringing me good. Pow! Ain't no white man coming to bring you no gifts. We ain't sending out no milk and cookies. I'm your Santa Claus.
That's right.
Your Santa Claus. Ain't
That's
no
right.
About you anything. Ain't no white man
That's
coming
right.
to the ghetto on no slaying no reindeers. So my mother, as brutal as she was with truth, I respect the fact that she gave that to us at a young age. Like for me, before this truth, man, me and my house, we had stopped celebrating Christmas for so long. It was just like another day that came and went, But for those of us who are still in the world that have not had the time or taken the time, or maybe their ears are just closed and they just got eyes that can't see, that they're really doing themselves a disservice by celebrating this when they could really be.
They really are. They really are, because it's like, wait a minute, man. Your kids look to you for everything, not just nourishment and guidance, but for the good things too. All that is good, but for the gifts and all these type of things that the Most High ordained a parent to be able to do for their kids. And you're going to go through all of that heartache, all of that being called a nigga, all of that, and you can't get the overtime, all that crap to give your kid what they desire, which is also a righteous thing. And then at the end of the year, you're going to give that honor to somebody else?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Look, we don't even got to get spiritual with it. Just think about the logical, carnal connotations of that. Like, yo, nah, my dude, if I worked all year because season tickets to the Nets floor seats is $1,200, and I worked all year and I got you that and I gifted that to you, I'd be goddamn if I tell you that your aunt gave you that gift of floor seats to the Nets. You know, honestly, you listen, you can kiss my entire ass. I'm not giving you that. I'm gonna give it the real thing.
Con.
So even with that, we know how much our people have been disconnected from the Most High.
Right.
And that's what it really boils down to.
Con. What did you say, Sister Bathia? You said your father made it known very early. Con. All praises. And I forgot who it was. I saw one of my family members. He's a cousin of the new generation, and then I saw his son, and his son was, better yet, I'll talk about my grandson. My grandson telling me about, Santa Claus brought him this, and he was trying to do good and not be more nice than naughty and all of that. And it's like, his mother has an issue with this Israelite thing. So it's like it's a fine line for me to walk with him because I want to tell him what it is, but it's going to come around in due time because he's only 7. But at the end of the day, we have to ask ourselves, like, are we truly believers in Christ? Are we truly believers or understanding of how we get into the kingdom? Idolatry and paganism and traditions of men is not going to get us there, right? Not at all. The scriptures clearly say that, right? And who's that? Shalom, Nabajat Davis.
Shalom.
I probably butchered your name. So let's go over First Kings again. Go ahead, right, King. What'd you say, other one?
No, I was just pronouncing it. That's all.
Okay. So we're gonna go over to 1 Kings 18. Yep, 1 Kings 18 and 20. Somebody read for me.
I got it. I'm still in it. 1 Kings 18 and 20.
Hold on. The sister says, when I was 8, my mom said Santa got drunk and fell off his sleigh, so she has to buy her gifts now. Hey, at least she tried to bring it to you without telling you. But hey, all praises. Good. So yeah, First
Kings chapter 18.
20. Yep.
18 and 20. Okay. This is First Kings, book of First Kings, chapter 1, verse 20. So Ahab sent unto all the children of Israel and gathered the prophets together unto Mount Carmel. And Elijah came unto all the people and said, How long halt ye between two opinions? If the Most High be God, follow him. But if Baal, then follow him. And the people answered him not a word.
No, so read 21 again.
And Elijah came unto all the people and said, How long halt ye between two opinions?
So stop there. So
Yeah.
we ask y'all right now, how long are y'all going to keep fighting between these two opinions? Should we be keeping the Most High's holy days, or should we continue on with the traditions of America, or the traditions of the heathen, or the people that conquered us, right? Where's the benefit in it for us? What does worshiping what they worship benefit us? Go ahead.
And then Elijah Then said Elijah unto the people, I, even I only, remain a prophet of the Most High. But Baal's prophets are 450 men.
Yeah, the army with him, read.
Let them therefore give us 2 bullocks, and let them choose 1 bullock for themselves, and cut it in pieces, and lay it on wood, and put no fire under. I will dress the other bullock, and lay it on wood, and put no fire under.
Read.
And call ye on the name of your gods. Yeah.
Read that again. Read that again.
Call ye on the name of your gods. And I will
Good.
call on the name of the Most High. And the
Good.
God that answereth by fire, let him be the power. Let him be the Most High. And all the people answered and said, it is well spoken. You dang right.
Read.
Verse 25. And Elijah said unto the prophets of Baal, choose 1 bullock for yourselves, dress it first, for ye are many, and call on the name of your gods, but put no fire under. And they took the bullock which was given them, and they dressed it, and they called on the name of Baal from morning even until noon, saying, Oh, Baal, hear us. But there was no voice, nor any that answered. Oh, why did I miss this? How did I miss this? A good precept.
Good.
And they leapt upon the altar that which was made. Let me run that back.
Yeah,
And they took the bullock which was given, and they dressed it, and they called the name of Baal from morning till even noon, saying, Oh, Baal, hear us. But there was no voice, nor any that answered, and they leaped on the altar which was made.
Go ahead.
And it came to pass at noon, then Elijah mocked them and said, Cry aloud, for he is a God. Either he is talking, or he is pursuing, or he is in a journey, or peradventure he sleepeth and must be awakened.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
And let me jump in real quick. And
Go
the
ahead.
reason why I went to this is because a lot of times brothers and sisters see us teaching online, and they teach us, and they say, you guys are you're mocking us, you're being rude, you're being too austere, you're so angry. Well, what did we just see the prophet do? He talked mad ish to them. He mocked them. The man said, is your God sleeping and he must be awake? Either he's talking, is he having another conversation? Or is he on a long journey somewhere else? Or is he pursuing something? Right? So this is how serious it was to our men, our leaders, the ones that walk with the Most High, especially when our people went off into idolatry. So when we're worshiping the Christmas tree, or saying that we're doing it for the children, or we're doing Thanksgiving for the family, no, you're not. You're doing it for that golden calf.
See, can I say something, King?
Go ahead, King.
See, here's the thing with that. Well, we got to realize when Lucifer was cast down, why was he cast down? He was cast out. I mean, can we answer that? Because this makes so much sense when you deal with why Lucifer was cast down. It's almost like a dude that got everything. He's a right-hand man to his boss. He got everything that his boss got, but he's not the boss. That's the one thing he don't got. Now, he might have the money the boss got. He might even got the admiration that the boss got. He might even got the fear that the boss got, but he don't got the loyalty that the boss got. When we look at this scripture, understand something. When they were talking about this, he was like, wait a minute. Where's your God? Maybe your God is sleeping and they leapt upon this and that and the third. When Elijah was talking about it, hey, listen, it was all about Satan wanting to be worshipped as the Most High. That's all it was. It was all about it was all about Satan wanting to be worshipped like the Most High. We do know that because of his pride and his arrogance, that was made him fall, because he wanted to be worshipped like the Most High. So it's weird that when we look at that scripture, when he was like, "Hey, call on the name of your gods," and this, that, and the third, he already knew who the true power was. He already knew that. So honestly, to be honest with you, this was like a rhetorical thing, because he was like, "All right, so call upon them. We'll go through the motions, but you and I both know who the true power of Israel is. So go ahead and do it." Now, right? So we'll go through the motions, and that's what's going on a lot of times today. We're going through the motions. They're going through the motions. We know. So yeah, you get the Creflo dollars, you get the Kevin Copelands, you get all that. But we, as the true Hebrews, the true servants of the Most High, we know already. So we're just going through the motions. So it's like, wait a minute, all right, call upon your gods, Zeus, Saturn, Jesus, whatever you want, go call upon them. But it's not just about power. The Most High did that, so he, like he said in the scripture, he put a difference between Israel and everybody else. So we would know that when he responds to us, that ain't no goddamn spiritual Israelite. Ain't no, or you could be in the spirit and you can be baptized. Nah, it's bloodline. It's bloodline.
And with that bloodline, they fail to realize that we're under a blood covenant.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, spilling of the blood of the calf.
There you go.
Almost bring blood on the people, and then when Christ died on the cross with the shedding of his blood. And I see something, the brother, I think his name was Job Davis. I probably said his name wrong. And he writes, and see, that's my biggest struggle. Now I own a boot camp for kids 4 through 16, and I end up battling the parents more than anything the way I teach the word of God, but because the kids' eyes are wide open. And he says, it's hard because a lot of it is not in the truth, but everything I learned either from Yahweh or AOC or maybe 2 other camps, but majority is AOC teachers. All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High.
Hey, but let them know, let them know, King. We don't care who you learn it from, man. As long as you learn the truth, we don't care who you learn it from.
That's right.
We really don't.
And you know what, brother? You keep doing them works with them kids, because the thing about it is, remember, the Most High says he's going to raise up with a whole new generation. It's going to be a whole new generation. So the same way you working with them babies, trying to bring them into the light, you may not be able to bring all of them into the light, but whoever the Most High is given to you to do that work with, they're going to receive it, and they're going to run with. They're going to grab the mantle and run with
it. And let me say, on air, I don't say this much. There are a lot of people who there's a lot of people who know me. There's a lot of people who hear from me, and I'm sort of an anomaly when it comes to certain things when it comes to AOC, because I'm probably not the most I'm not like, how they got the teaching people that's like really they teach it, but I gotta say, man, and let me say this right now, because I've been feeling this. for a long time, and I've said it once or twice, but hey, man, about Nazar, man, yo, the Most High is truly with you, man, because I'm so seriously impressed by not only your faith in the Most High, but your teachings and just it's refreshing. It's nice. It's we I've come from the old school. We talking almost 30 years for me.
Come.
And I come on with you guys, and I don't say much, and I'm sure there are people like, hey, they don't say much, and they don't he doesn't say much, and he's there, but a lot of times you're not ready for the conversations that we have.
Right.
You're not ready for the biblical explanations that we give. But I gotta be honest, man, you surprised me.
Oh, for what? Right.
I'm super impressed. I'm super impressed by your understanding, your knowledge, and the way that you command certain things. So if I never told you that, let me just tell you now, I'm very, very impressed by that.
Oh, man. Hey, I'll praise to the Most High, man. I'm just a vessel, man, and I'm still a student at this myself, still learning and growing. I wish the stuff that I think I know, I don't even know, and the things I ought to know, I ain't mastered. But I'm trying to work towards it, and through the continuous guidance of you brothers, Chief Priest Maban Ariyah, Chief Priest Shah, General Shah, Chief Priest Kazak Rakai, and all the different brothers like Zion, Officer Abishaya, and all the brothers, even like Yediah. I sit back, I watch, and I observe, and I learn from everybody. I pick some up from everybody, and I take it with me, and I try to do the best that I can with it. But I can't do this without the Most High, one. I mean, I'm nothing without him.
And to the brother Barak as well. Look, man, we're gonna take we take nothing from you, King. Nothing. I mean, your diligence in spreading, not spreading, but believing and knowing and spreading the truth of the Most High while Yahushua is unprecedented, man. It's just, look, man, look. It ain't about, they say, puffing up brothers. It's about giving brothers their flowers while they're alive. And you brothers have been putting in this work. And for us not to acknowledge that is a sin. These things cannot be done without you brothers being who you are. And I'm so honored to be family. I'm very, very honored to be family.
Go.
And
likewise.
Yeah, now obviously I'm better looking than all of you, but we ain't gonna talk about that. That's just something else. That's just one of those things.
I can have that. I've been called ugly a few times in my life. It ain't nothing new.
I'm sure. But anyway, but in all seriousness, man, hey, you brothers are doing a bang up job, and I know we always talk. You know why I'm doing this? Because what the people who see us on, this platform don't know is we always talk about that after the cameras are off.
Yeah.
We
always do.
I've been born and raised in Brooklyn, East New York. You already know. It's what it is. So you give people their flowers while they're alive. And so, with this, hey, let's be off when we get off, when we get off the, the platform, we tell each other how things are going on. You know what? Screw that. I'm gonna tell y'all right now on the platform. This is how I feel, and this is how the Most High got things going on. And hey, man, we are the best things that ever happened to us.
God. Yes, it is. God, definitely.
And so let's continue with that, man, and let's be the best that we can be. And let's just, let's rock it, man, and bring our people back to the Most High, man.
God, man.
God.
It's the water, King. The water. And man, you got the chat up in here going crazy. The sisters going up in here going crazy.
Yeah.
Khan Barack. You gonna find you a wife on this
Hey, I gotta be honest, man. Maybe I don't say it much or whatever the case. I don't know what it is, but that's my dude right there, Barack. I like that cat.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is.
That's my bro, man.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Especially last time he was here, and I took him through East New York, and we hung out, in the hood or whatever.
Hey,
that's my man right there. But it's
like
funny because
history trip, man. I love it.
And it's funny because I gotta be honest, man. I talked to your Butler King. I talked to you, and it's weird because there are certain times where you seem like an elder to me. And I'm gonna say that on this platform or whatever. I don't look, if you know me, if anybody knows me, they know that I'm not known for like the teachings and things like that. They know that I'm for Israel. I love my people. They know I'm for something different behind that. But hey, man, listen, you brothers, man, this is truly wonderful, man. It's just I could never have envisioned this. So I want to thank the Most High, Yahweh, and then obviously I got to give thanks to the General.
God. Hey, because he set me up, man. This Friday night class.
I gotta give thanks. I gotta give thanks to the General Hashar. And you know what? I also gotta give thanks. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna let y'all finish with it. You know what? Look, we're gonna do what we do, man.
We vibing.
That's it. We're gonna do what we do. I gotta give thanks, and I gotta give thanks to and this is where we know it's about the Spirit of the Most High, because it doesn't mean that you gotta be an elder to have that type of understanding. I gotta give a shout out and a great thanks to a lot of things that has happened to the liaison officer, Daniela.
God.
Hey, man, stand up for that man. Stand up for that man. Because for him to be that young and to still do what he does for AOC. Listen, AOC is the benchmark of a lot of things, and they can say whatever they want. AOC is a benchmark for a lot of things, and we're gonna always be that. But I thank the Most High, man, because the things that we've always been about, we're still about. It ain't about pride. It ain't about, it's just, hey, look, man, can we all just do the work of the Most High? And that's what it's always been about. And so I'm sorry, man. It's a lot, man. I mean to, cut into the teachings, but this was on my heart. I'm a nobody, but this is on my heart. And so, look, we definitely appreciate all of you brothers, man. Matter of fact, you're family. We don't appreciate brothers. We appreciate family.
Gun. Hmm?
So,
Oh yeah. Gun. No, my wife.
having, hey, we appreciate your wife too,
Hey.
man. When we met, hey, I never forget when we came down that day, that time in Cleveland. Hey man, I was like, hey man, I was like, yo, let's not walk through her house. Look, with her shoes on and all that. With her shoes on, all kinds of stuff. And I was like, yo, I swore, because when she looked at me, I was like, holy shit. But she was like, no, brother. Hey, the Most High. And she didn't even give me no scripture. Just the way that she looked at me, I was like, oh my God. Is that what it really is? How can we deny the Most High what he says in the scripture about our sisters? Because the look she gave me was like, hey, it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah,
it's all right. And I never told you that, and I never spoke about it, but it was like, it was such a feeling of peace and of calm. Like, welcome to my home.
Right. Gun.
Welcome to my home.
Mm-hmm. All praises.
So, hey man, hey, listen, you already know what we about, man. We're gonna get back to the scriptures. The scripture's gonna be there. But let's just talk. Let's just talk as men. The scripture's gonna be there.
Hey, the sister Wanda say, okay, stop now before I cry. You got the sisters getting all emotional. And I guess Barack said, Barack, you keep doing this, you're going to find your wife on YouTube, and all the cons came up in the chat. I don't know if that was perfect timing or I missed it. I don't know, man.
Hey, listen, man. Listen, we're very unique. The Most High didn't make a mistake when he explained us as being set apart. Okay? The set apart was to be set apart predominantly from the other nations, but also set apart from the people of our nations that didn't want to deal with that. From people of our nation that didn't want to deal with that. Here's the thing, though. What they don't realize is, when you got a man and a woman of our nation that deals exclusively with what the Most High say, it is something to cry about, because it's such a wonderfulness that you've never experienced when you put aside what the society think you should be, what the society think your man should be, your husband should be, your wife should be. When you go with what the scriptures tell you that you should be, hey man, when that marriage is made in heaven, they wasn't crapping around. They wasn't bull crapping around. We beautiful people. We always will be. Even our wickedness. Why do you think the grace of the Most High abounds, man? I love all my brothers. I love all my sisters. And man, it's just what we gonna do, man? What we gonna do?
Where did I hear that in that movie scene? What we gonna? Oh, that was Puffy talking about what we gonna do now when Big died.
What we gonna do?
Yeah, we're gonna do now. Yeah. Hey, only thing I can say is keep pushing, man, and keep enduring.
Here's the thing, though. But pushing towards what? Tell him, King. Pushing towards what?
The kingdom, bringing our families together, bringing our nations together, changing our ways, redeveloping our mindset, becoming more righteous and holy. Not so much, obviously separating from the heathens and doing them things, but there's a separation with our family, and I'll be one. I'll admit, when I first came into this truth, man, I was probably too honorary for my own family. I probably burned a lot of bridges in the beginning, get ready to throw the pork plates across the table, things like that. And what I realized at that time was that I was doing more pushing away than I was even trying to win them over. So I guess over time, I guess it's called a maturation process, where you realize that obviously in the beginning you're going to go through your growth patterns. You're going to have your angry phase and things of that nature. But as you mature with the knowledge and wisdom, and you sit around more mature, spiritually in tune men and women, it'll knock off those rough edges on you to where you can go back and have those conversations and win some family members over.
Here's the thing, King.
Go ahead.
Here's what I've learned.
Go ahead, King.
I've been by the grace of the Most High, and by no look, it's only the grace of the Most High why Yahweh Shai that I'm here, that all of you are here. Okay. And I don't say this, and I don't do that, because if you've ever gone through a lot of AOC's videos, you really won't see me a lot, unless it was one of those things. Here's what I've learned, and I'm going to say this, and I'm not saying this to garner any feelings or anything like that, but here's what I'll say. In my 30 years of walking in this truth, here's what I'll say. 30 years of doing it wrong, 30 years and 1 minute of getting it right would take over those 30 years of getting it wrong. And so when the scriptures talk about the Most High's grace and love and all that things being renewed every day or every morning, it really is true. So the thing, what I'm saying is, a lot of people out there right now are going through the same things that we're going through. Now, the ambassador Barack, and this is not saying anything about you, I guarantee you haven't gone through to that level the things that I've gone through in the 30 years of being in the truth. I guarantee that. And here's why I can say that. Because whatever you're going through, where Satan has tried to pull you away from the Most High, he hasn't been as strong with you that he has been with me. And here's how I know that. Because whatever he uses with you, he used with me and already beat him. So he had to go stronger. You get what I'm saying? So when you look at brothers who've been in truth for a long time, it don't really mean much. It don't really mean much. However, when you get to the understanding of, hey, how the enemy gonna come at you, we may have a really good understanding of how you can try to avoid that. And that's why when you see a lot of elders come on the teachings and the class, it's not because we desire some place like the scripture talk about, like Christ was talking about, the high chambers and the long garments and all that. It's not that. It's not that at all. We should be the most humble among you. It's just that there are a lot of things we already been through because we've already seen how the enemy rocks. We've gotten through it. And so the Most High, through the Messiah, has allowed us to show you, hey, look, this is how he's going to come.
Good.
And it might sound real crazy, but I'm telling you, man, hey, we gotta look at this thing differently, man. Now I know we wanted to go through scripture tonight and do all this other stuff, but you know what? Let the Spirit work, man.
Good.
These are things that they gotta hear tonight, man.
Yeah, good. And because you know what? Even me at my age, and it's my tenure, I still go through things. I still struggle. If I catch myself about to stumble, I have to grab something and make sure I don't fall. You know, and a lot of times if that ever happens, I gotta pick up the phone. You can actually appreciate. I call him at 6 o'clock in the morning. Like, wake up. Good morning, Vietnam. I need the house early on the Shabbat. You know, in between the break and work.
Let me ask you a question. What is the supreme evidence that the Most High is still dealing with you?
Hey, repeat that again.
What is the supreme 100% proof that the Most High is still dealing with you?
Because he ain't took me out. He ain't took the breath of life from me.
Every day your eyes open, you got another shot. So how do we not teach that to the people who are game banging, to the women who are prostituting? That's how we gotta teach them. All this other stuff, hey, being holier than thou, man, the hell with all that bullshit. When the Most High is done with you, your eyes no longer open. So that's how we gotta bring it to the people that we're trying to bring it to. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that scriptures, history, and all that stuff is not great. It's a wonderful thing. It's part of the process. But when you break it down to the very last compound to people who don't understand that or who don't give a shit about none of that, hey, the Most High loves you because you ain't fucking die. And forgive my language. You didn't die. Let's start from that.
Go.
How about that? Let's start from that.
You know what, I was just telling the brother, I just turned 49 a few weeks ago, and probably about a week and a half ago, I guess I experienced what they call a midlife crisis. And basically what it made me realize was that, like, yo, you finna be 50. You almost been here a half a century. And I guess where it was because just previously in the week, I was at the hospital with my uncle who's 74. You know, I got uncle, my oldest uncle, to be 74 years old. And I'm just watching how he was from being the man he was when I was a little kid growing up and watching what condition he's in. And I guess reality really set in with me. Like, whoa, this time is short. I really got to get on the point. Because just like that in the blink of an eye, I don't have to wake up. I can nod off and in a quick nod and never be wake up. I remember when I was in Christianity, and I knew I was wicked as hell. I used to always pray to the Most High, please don't take your breath of life away from me. But once he took the breath from me, I knew it was a wrap.
So, Psalm 51.
Yeah.
Psalm 51.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was afraid of him taking that breath of life from me because I knew what was going to come once I seen his glory. It was not going to be nothing nice. So that's how I know the Most High still dealing with me. And then for a lot of us out here, it's the same thing like the chief priest said. We need to acknowledge that every day we wake up is another day to repent, another day to grow, another day to work on self, to review self, examine these scriptures, meditate day and night, get the counsel that you need, and take each day as a step. A lot of times we want to get into the truth, we want to run.
But King, here's the problem I have with that.
Okay.
And it's not with you. It's with all of us. Here's the problem I have with that.
Okay.
Hey, it's almost like you're a parent, right? And you have parents. You have kids.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, we know all the stuff that we're supposed to do. The question is not only when are we going to do it, but the real question is, what are we willing to risk in order to get it done? Think about it. How many times have you heard, hey, well, all I got to do is I got to start serving the Most High. I got to start doing this. I got to start doing that. Well, what are you willing to risk to do that?
Mm-hmm.
When you going to do that? You know what you got to do, but when you going to do it? What's going to make you do it? And trust me, man, when I'm talking right now, I'm talking because these are the things that I've battled with in my almost 30 years of doing this. And you would think, well, my nigga, it's been 30 years. Shouldn't you already have it down pat? Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. But what I realized is, yeah, no, it don't work like that. So you got to figure out, well, how does it work? It's fluid. It's fluid. You're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. It's fluid. But the big thing is you got to make a goddamn decision. You got to make a decision. Is it going to be the Most High or is it going to be the world? All the other stuff about Yahweh Shine, was he this, was he that? That's going to come through. The question is, what's your decision? What's your decision? Are we Hebrews? Or are we not? Are we the chosen of the Most High, or are we not? That's right. You who said that? I'm sorry, I'm seeing something. Lamentations 3:23. Great is thy faithfulness. Absolutely. What's that? Beverly Pleasure?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. But guess what, man? We gotta stop being in the shadows, man. We've been in the shadows too long, and that's why I gotta be honest with you, man. Hey, listen, man, your partners, I respect you a great deal because you ain't in the shadows at all.
King.
You ain't in the shadows. I like that. I like that. And anybody that know me will tell you, I'm a fool. I'm about war. I never been about anything else. I'm about war. I'm about the smoke. Now that might not have served me well, but I don't give a shit. I'd rather die in the smoke than die sitting on some goddamn toilet. I've always been about the smoke, but the smoke don't always gotta mean I gotta give up my life. It could also mean, look, my stance that I take on a certain subject or whatever it is. But I've always been about the smoke, and I like brothers that are serious about that, and I appreciate you and the brother Barak and even the young soldier Ariel. Just remember, man, it's about this Most High's truth. Ain't about no brother, ain't about no camp. It's about the Most High's truth, man. We got to let them know out there that we're willing to engage them in combat. The hell what they want to talk about. We know who the Most High is. We know who Yahweh Shai is, the Mashiach. And we gonna rock with y'all however y'all want.
Con.
So it's up to us to bring our people back to this truth, man, and may the Most High bless the zone through Yahweh Shai. May He bless the zone that we all bring our people back to where they're supposed to be, man. So I know I went off on a tangent, but it's like, hey, man, look, man, at some points, man, yeah, and the Lord said this, yeah, all that's good. I got that. But at certain points, it's more than that. It's like, look, nigga, what you want to do? And Barack is like, what? I ain't going over this.
No, I want to
Look at this foot.
I was looking at the chat. No, man, I wanna, I'm ready. I'm ready. All this week I've been getting charged up. So,
You ready to do what?
To get back to do righteous works. I mean, that's all we
go.
can do.
That's all we can do. Because remember, the Most High said, vengeance is mine. The scripture says, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. So we ain't even gotta be about that smoke. All we gotta be is about them scripts. And He gonna handle the smoke.
Con. Hey,
And I guess
the sister. Yeah, the sister posted all praises to Yahweh Shai, the water to the Most High for bringing us General Hashar and AOC. And they say you're also a great teacher as well.
Well, I'm actually better than General Hashar. They don't know that. Yeah, I know, and trust me, I know I'm gonna hear from him once I said that. I know he's gonna call me tomorrow. But I gotta be honest to you, man. A lot of people don't know him. They look at hey man, I can't even. Honestly, I don't even know how to categorize that brother, man.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
See, they know him from seeing him on, the videos. I've known him personally for 30 years. And there's certain things that I know that brother, the Most High blessed him with to become certain things to people that he wanted. Hey, honestly, I don't even know how to describe it, man. And it's crazy because we hear a lot of things like, hey, that brother Hisham and thanks to Most High to the general and this and that and third. It's like, look, this thing over like $2. You thinking the general? That ain't gonna be $2. It's real weird. It's like, nigga, I bought coffee, you ain't pay me. You know what I mean? So it's very weird. But
hey, you be cracking me up, bro.
I'm just saying.
You be too animated, man.
I know. I gotta stop.
I'm just saying. Yo, you would never. Well, I can't say that because I don't know what your life. Most High got life into, but I've never met a more realer person than Hashar. And hey, man, he's helped me through so many difficult things in my life, man. And it's just, and his whole thing is, look, you know what? The hell with me. I want y'all to be better than me, which, I'm already there. I'm better looking. I got a better body. So I'm already there. But it's, he just, I could understand why people kind of be like, oh, hey, the general. But he don't care about none of that, man. He care about the Most High. He care about the truth. He care about brothers. And what they don't know about the general is, he's so into family, man. And you brothers are family. You have no idea of how much he's into family. However, he's into order. So when you look at, hey, while we don't hear from the general as much, he's into order. Everything has an order, everything has a place, and he don't deviate from that. So it's not like he ignores brothers or he don't reach out to brothers. Hey, man, if you ain't doing what you're supposed to do according to the Most High in Christ, you want him to reach out to you? I think not. I think not. I don't. So I think not.
Right, come. Definitely. Yeah, I remember the first time I came across the general. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go back to when we shot the Meant to Be video a few years ago.
Hey, that was nice, though. I like that.
Yeah. So I kind of sat back, well, I didn't been around the general a few times and all that, been in pictures with him, but I'm just sitting back watching this man's aura, watching his presence. And I just sat back and watched. Even though we're in between the video shoot and him rapping and everybody else was there in the celebration and the great weekend we had, it was more or less just watching the love and the admiration that the brothers had for him. It wasn't man worship or nothing like that. It was just because you can tell that this man's reputation precedes who he is. What we hear and what we say about him is actually true. It's him to the bone. You get what you see. You hear it. When I've gotten the calls from the brother at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, Adawan, you sleep. Like, Adawan, no, I was not asleep. I was not calling the birds. I was just up at 3 o'clock in the morning waiting on your call. But when that brother calls and you receive that call, when you get off that call with that brother, you're very refreshed. You got a lot on your mind, but you're very refreshed because his brothers drop jewels on you. Sometimes even when you lay down, you'll wake up out of your sleep like, did he just say that? And then I find myself jumping up, going through the books. He was breaking some stuff down to me, Zion and Abishai one day on my way to the gym. And I had to pull over on the side of the highway for an hour and a half, and I just sat in and listened. Because when the brother speaks, man, he's definitely in tune. You can feel his passion. You can feel his love for his people. And you can feel the energy, the strength behind what he says. And it's not intimidating to me. It might be to some, but I respect the general.
Here's the thing with that. When and that's a beautiful thing, but when what I've learned over the 28 years is a lot of people are moved. A lot of people are moved by what they see on the video. How he just get at people on the video. But hey, man, that don't move me at all.
Right,
it don't. It don't move me at all. What I understand and what I know is, hey man, that brother's humanity, how he really you're not going to meet a lot of people who really care about another person, regardless of who it is. I've never seen that in my life a lot, where there's a brother who really care about another person like that, and they're not getting nothing from him. Nothing. I can't tell you how many times I've been with that brother and we didn't have, and he's given his last. Now he ain't gonna want me to say that, and I'm probably gonna hear from him tomorrow. But you know what? I'm fine with that. Because, I gotta tell you how it is, man. Yo, it's just he if more of us were like that, I think, so when they look at the videos and they see him wilding out against Esau, this is that and the third, that's also part of it. But he exemplifies what Yahweh Shai talked about when he said, love the Most High with all your heart, soul, and mind, and love your brother as you love yourself, or you love the Most High. He exemplifies that. And when we get there, we'll start to understand all of the so-called dark scriptures. Because there's certain things that unlock those understandings, but you got to get to those first parts first. I've seen things that this man has done that I'm not gonna, that to me was, he gonna be upset, but whatever. Humanly and physically impossible. But I've seen it through the scriptures, and I wasn't the only one that was there. So, he just exemplifies the understanding that, hey, look, man, you can be humble and still do the work of the Most High. And it's not about, hey, camp bashing and all this other kind of stuff. It's about, look, man, are you for the Most High for real, 100%, or not? And unfortunately, those type of people are dying fast. And the fact that we're supposed to take up that mantle, and we got a lot of people in our nation that's not doing that. It's up to us, man. Yes, Barack. It's up to you.
I know.
Yes, your Balthazar. It's up to you. Yes, Abonaria. It's up to me. So, like I said, again, I definitely give you a lot of props and honor and grace because of the classes that you give, and the knowledge of the Most High in Christ that you give, and the scriptures. Hey, man, I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed. So I'm honored. I'm honored to be a part of, these classes. You didn't have to. So I'm honored that, I'm a part of these classes. Now, obviously, you asked me to be a part of these classes because of my good looks, but that's besides the point.
Hey, man, we need Pretty Ricky in here. Pretty Ricky.
Well, there you go. That's
Pretty Ricky.
That's beside the point. But hey, in all honesty, man, hey, absolutely wonderful, and I'm glad to be a part of it. And it's just I can't believe how far we've come. So all praise to the Most High, Yahweh Shai, man, and I pray you brothers stay in the spirit, man. So that you can continue to do this, and anything you need from me, if I can, I'll be there.
Come.
Go.
And I got some for you. Somebody said something. I don't think you've seen it, but I'm trying to find it. It was one of the sisters said something. Where is it? I think it was Mother Bathia's sister Beverly Pleasure. I'm trying to find it. You didn't get to see it. Was it her?
Was it at 8:13?
Yeah, it's this one right here. Saying this is the most that she've ever heard you speak. She was like, wow, bring it out. This is the most I heard you talk. Wow, bring it out. Hold on, Sister Wanda. Wanda said he's spilling out his heart. And then it says, hold on, man. They was really getting into it, man. Let me find another one. And the Sister Wanda said, this is like a family reunion tonight. I love it. The sister Treese Carson says Joe Hashar is the best teacher. The things he say makes you come into the truth. If you just listen to his videos, I listen to him in the morning. He also gets you in the spirit, right? And also, she's rest in peace, our brother Pawar. Sister Wana said, I'm honored that Pawar introduced me to AOC in 2017. I haven't been the same since. And also, that brother, I don't want him to think I was ignoring him. Let me go back up to his comments because he dropped a lot in here.
Yes, he did.
The brother Nebojah or Nebohath, he said, I wish I could switch over and have parents in the truth sign their kids up. The camp would run a lot smoother. I wouldn't mind AOC being a part of my camp and me being a part of the AOC camp. He says, my boys actually wanted me to join, and I said okay, but they wouldn't be able to call me General Nebahath anymore. They would just have to call me Brother Nebahath. They're like, hey, we don't like that. Okay. But brother, I'll tell you this, man. To be a part of AOC, anybody that's a believer in Christ and believes in walking in the commandments and all of that and doing his work and walking in the faith, man, you're already an ambassador of Christ. You've already been an ambassador by sharing those words with those babies. But if you're looking for information about possibly joining us or doing some maybe some unity things or some filling out process, do me a favor, send all your questions and your thoughts over to the AOC Houston email floating on the ticker below. And you'll and Officer Abishaya down in Houston, he'll definitely follow up with you if you got any questions or you want to share your thoughts like that. Brother over here, yes, brother, we do have order over here. There's a rank and file, but we don't get caught up, on titles. That stuff. It's not going to make or break us to have those titles. I could be a captain, I can be a lieutenant, and all of that. I'm still going to be your brother, your Balthazar, at the end of the day. Just another ambassador. Just another humble brother trying to have faith and do the first works, doing the first works, so that I can get into the kingdom and get that crown of glory upon my head and put on that white garment like everybody else. That Yahweh shall promise that if we endure.
Absolutely, Con.
So yeah, brother, if you want to link up with the ambassadors of Christ, man, we don't have a problem with that. Just reach out to the email below, AOC Houston at Gmail. Say that you was on the line with your Balthazar Barak and Chief Priest Aban Ariyah, and I told you, hey, shoot an email over to AOC Houston at Gmail. And that brother Abishaya is a great brother, and he's also a great teacher. Go ahead, King.
And to the people that and may the Most High bless them. It's a beautiful thing, man, and that's why I love this family. We've never been, and I can say this, with certainty. We've never been a camp. I don't even know. Like, I know what a camp is, but we've never been a camp because the people that the brothers that I go out with, this is a beautiful thing because now we got extended family in Chicago and in Cleveland, which we just came from this weekend. We were out in Cleveland, so we've got extended family, and that's how I see it. But to the people that reached out like that, we don't have a camp. We have family. These people are my family. I've known these people, and I've dealt with these people. There's some brothers in our family that brought me into this truth. We're talking 30 years. We're talking 30 years. So yeah, I praise the Most High. I thank you. Those who looked at it as that, but we don't consider ourselves a camp. You know what I mean? We consider ourselves family because that's what we are. And yeah, as far as me not saying much, if you go back to a lot of our videos from the beginning of Ambassadors of Christ, you'll see what my primary role was. I won't get into it because, but you'll see what my primary role was. And it wasn't really about teaching. It was about that smoke. So that used to be my primary role. But hey, man, listen, man, we love all of you. We love all of you, man. And it's beautiful that we're not the only ones that love the Most High like that, and people understand how we really feel about that. And trust me, we're by ourselves. The whole world is like, hey, Christianity and the Catholicism and the Pope and all this kind of crap. And man, the hell with all that nonsense, man. So we definitely appreciate our people who appreciate us doing the things that we do in the name of the Most High Yahweh Shah. And look, the general, I should be the general, honestly. I mean, don't I should be the general. All right. But nah, it's a beautiful thing, man. We thank the Most High Yahweh Shah for all the people that tune into us, man. And we definitely love all of you. But more importantly, man, to me personally, it's about it's about our younger brothers coming up, man. It's about the brother your Yabatazar, man. It's about, and the officer, he's an officer. It's about your Yabatazar and Barak and hey, man, you guys don't know how much it gives me joy to see you brothers doing this, man, because it's like, wow, I remember 30 years ago doing this when it was, hey, when somebody said something, it was all out brawl, 50, 60, 70 people just going at it. You know what I mean? Out in New York, so to see, and here's the funny part about it. Brothers don't understand. People don't understand. You live in Chicago. In New York at the time, wasn't about no gang stuff. So technically, you dealing with a worse situation than we were. Mm-hmm. Because you dealing with gangs who are like, nigga, I kill you for a color or for whatever. Where in New York at that time that I came into the truth, it wasn't about that.
Y'all was just coming out. Y'all was still stuck coming out of breakdancing.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you got more of a problem convincing these brothers to give up their gang affiliation for the Most High, which we never had to deal with in New York at that time.
Yeah.
And I don't care. Let me explain something to you. I don't care who can call you. I don't care who can get on the chat and say different. I'm in New York. I've been in the truth for over 30 years. So I know I was there. It wasn't like that. Mm-hmm. So that's how we know the Most High, why Yahweh Shai is working. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm more impressed and more delighted with our camps outside of New York. Although we love New York, hey, but I'm more delighted, and I love more of our camps outside because you guys got to deal with Chicago, Detroit, like we watched that. It's like, man, this is crazy. And if you can convert a person to, yeah, I'm sorry.
I heard you.
The Most High is working through us, man. So,
good.
So it's a beautiful thing, man. I'm trying to say a lot, but not say too much.
King, you good, man?
Good.
Nah, you good, King.
So all I gotta say is, if we gotta make a vote over me and the general, y'all vote for me.
Got it. Good.
Yeah, he gonna probably call me later, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a call about 4 o'clock in the morning. Like, your bot is out.
Yeah. Me too. Hey, let's just stick to the story.
God, it's my story, Samson, and I'm sticking to it. It's my story, Samson. And also for that brother, for the brother that was in the crew, and I hate butchering people's names. Nebo Job Davis. Hopefully, I'll speak to the brothers soon. I'm in the book of Sirach, chapter 4, verse 7, and it says, "Get thyself the love of the congregation, and bow thy head to a great man." This brother right here has been walking with a great man, which also makes him a great man himself for the past 30 years. I now have been added into that family of walking with them brothers. Of I had my time walking onto their 60 plus years. Then the brother Barack, who's like my baby brother down here in Chicago, we take his years and his experiences and add it to the walk. We take Daniela's time. We take Sergeant Zion's time, Ambassador Nawa's time, Yaramal, all the different brothers and their experiences and the knowledge, we bring it all together. And what do? We form the body of Christ. Every person that's awake in this truth in the body of Christ, everybody has an important job to do. My job isn't no more important than yours. You know, it's broken down about the diversities of operations in the body. Everybody has a part to play. There's no big eyes. There's no small U's. There's no room for jealousy and envy other than true brotherhood and sisterhood and walking in the way that Yahweh Shai showed us to walk as a family. And that begins to fear the most, loving the Most High with all our heart, our soul, and our mind, which means to fear Him. And to fear the Most High is to walk in His commandments.
And remember, a great man, years don't make you great, but how you live those years make you great. If you live those years according to the Most High's law, statutes, and commandment, that makes you great.
Oh wow.
So when you talk about those people walking with great, or us walking with great men, or being great men, it's not the years that make. As a matter of fact, it ain't even that the fact that, look, hey, I've been in the truth 30 years. How have I walked in 30 years?
Hey, Salakia, that brother Nebajah Davis says, "You in Chicago out of one?" I just noticed that.
I knew he was from Chicago.
I
knew it.
Are you the brother that I met over at ICOJ? Because
I'm seeing he's in Chicago from what I could see.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, because now I just noticed that, and I'm wondering if this is the same brother that I met out here, you know, like at one of the holy days, and I sent them videos. So I'm trying to find out if he's the same brother Keith, or if this is a different person. And either way, I'm gonna do a favor, brother. I'm gonna pull up my email real quick, and I'm gonna drop it in the chat for you. So since you fall up on the Chicago, I'll go ahead and shoot you mine. And as a matter of fact, I'll do it now. I'm gonna shoot it in the chat. And Barack, shoot yours up in there too.
Got on the one gun.
Like, I just realized that.
Hey, shoot mine too if you got it.
Okay.
Let's all talk to this brother.
Okay. And let me see. I was looking for yours earlier when I was trying to send you the link for the class. I went back to the old chat, and for whatever reason I couldn't find it. But
no, I got it. I got the link. I got the link for the class. But you know, I'm on the road, you know, early, you know, so that's why I was late, man. I'd be on the road, man. I'm trying to change that, but the Most High gonna work it out, man. Which one do you have, officer?
I sent that one to your old email address, but not the I couldn't find the ambassador email address, and I'm looking through it now.
Oh,
the ambassador your ambassador email.
Yeah, but I have that. You don't got that one.
I don't know. It's
all right. Let me send it to you when we get off here. Let me send it to you.
Right,
I thought you had that.
I thought I did too. You know what? Let me just check my emails again. Because
you got to look at maybe look at the best person in the world at AOC. Okay, now that's not it. That's not it.
Hold on.
I'm better than everyone else at AOC. No, that's not it. I'm sorry.
Oh man.
Look at Barack. Yo, Barack is hating.
I'm typing it up.
Look at Barack. He hating.
Hey,
Barack is hating.
Hey, Barack, did you drop your email in there for the brother too?
I actually did. I don't want, but it didn't take it.
You got a real phone?
I think I do.
Yeah, he got a real phone now. I think.
Dang.
Was it iPhone?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well. All right. Yeah. All right.
I gotta switch it up. I know.
Yeah. All right.
God, the brother say he's sitting there designing him an Israelite shirt right now. So you making clothes too. All praises, King. And we do fringes, all of that over here in tassels, bro. So machine, all them good things, man. We always try to bless the brothers and sisters in need. You know, and speaking of that, man, my wife and my granddaughter, and I love my man. She's definitely just pray to the Most High that she continues to grow as she gets older and matures into a young woman. She came to me, her grandma was like, hey, granddad, all these homeless people out there, why don't we get them some bundles, get them a few bundles together and some knickknacks and go down to the homeless shelter and give it to them. So she talked to me, talked to my wife, and they ordered some things so that they're going to be going down to the homeless shelter, like we used to, So that's something that she wants to do, So I told her all praises, anytime you can give back to our people, because, she gets real sad when she sees our people, the ones that look real, that look downtrodden or look poor or out there begging for change or hungry and all that, it always makes her ready to cry and all of that, So I just think the Most High that was on her spirit to do that because that wasn't something we were thinking about or something we put in her mind. So we thank the Most High for that as well. And let me see, Leviticus says that is why should always remember that Yah does not reward man for what he does, but for what he is. Kind out of one. Kind. Which and actually what you do is what you are. What you do is what's ingrained inside of you, huh? If you want. Oh, you must have heard me speak you up. My little princess. There, say hi, say Shabbat, say Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Yeah. Kind. So yeah, definitely, brothers and sisters. Hey, there go Chief Priest of Bond. You see, Ambassador Barack. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
she see me.
I did.
Yeah. So for the most
Hi,
part,
Mama.
man, for the most part, man, we're all like Chief Priest said, man, we're a family. I really don't like that term camp either. It has so much of a negative connotation. And I remember for me in the beginning, because I was around a lot of people, especially for me coming in this troop, man, I was a lot of people who are anti-camp. No, don't join them camps, blah, blah, blah. And if it was not for the camps and me being able to hit the highways and the byways and being able to be gone for days at a time, it allowed me to grow. It allowed my wife to grow. Allow her to go back and do some studying of the things I shared with her, the things she didn't understand and what she didn't agree with. And I was on a path to be around righteous men to show me the examples, to show me the way of how to become or ascertain to become a righteous man. Because like the brother said, I grew up around in the city of Chicago, man, I was born into the gang life. My family, the drug game, pimp game, hustling, all of that on one side of the family. So it's like the brother says, like even if you ask a lot of these brothers in Chicago, they're like, you ask them what their nation is or what nation they descend from. First thing they're gonna say, they're gonna tell you what gang they rap. What nation? What's your nation? Nigga, I'm a GD. I'm a vice lord. I'm a king. King love. King nation. Same thing we read in the scriptures, man, about the bywords and proverbs, man. Losing our identity and our heritage and all of that.
Well, here's the thing with that. See, when I first, the Most High blessed me to first come into this truth. When you come back to now, it's like, hey, wait a minute. I've seen a lot of camps. You know, I've seen a lot of camps, and I've seen that what a camp does. A lot of camps. I'm not saying all camps. What I'm saying is, what I've seen a camp do is you'll go through the week, you'll get to the Sabbath day. A camp will come out. They'll do the work of the Most High. They'll bless each other, whatever. Maybe they may hang out for a couple hours, whatever it may be, and then they go back home, and then they go back to what they were doing. And we've never been that. We've never done that. I don't consider the brothers that I labor with a camp, because in my almost 30 years of doing this, we've hung out all, like together. They've been at my house. They've slept over. I slept over at their house. Been on trips. We it's a family. And so I'm not really big on the camp. If the camp is, hey, let's go out there, let's just be, chill for the week, and then we go out on camp and teach the word on the Shabbat. Yahushua didn't work like that with his people. So I don't really, in the essence of camp being the way that they are, we're not a camp. We're a family.
Come.
So when somebody, when we're going through things, we go through things as a family, not as a camp. Not as a camp. And I can say with a certain degree of certainty that that's what makes us different from a lot of other, from other Israelite entities, put that way. Because we don't handle things like a camp. We handle things like a family. And that's why it burns us when things go on that shouldn't go on unrighteously. And that's what you get when you're a part of our family. And niggas can say what they want, man, but we're a family, and we've always treated anybody that was with us, we've treated them as family. And the people that aren't with us, they didn't want to be a part of the family. But we'll let them tell you why.
And the Sister Beverly Pleasure, and just to fill you in, that's the Sister Mother Mathia out of Cleveland. She said they still do it. She said, I was told to stay away from camps. But here in Cleveland, when I was looking for the Hebrews, and the Most High led me to King Zion Yasha'Allah. And trust me,
yeah, I was just with that. I was just with that brother this weekend. Yeah, I was just with him this weekend.
That is excellent, brother, man. One of my favorite brothers.
Yeah, I like that brother, man. I really do like that brother, man. We had a wonderful camp in Cleveland. We went out to Cleveland, so we had a wonderful camp in Cleveland, and I loved hanging out with them brothers this weekend. It was beautiful. Our next stop is Chicago.
Oh yeah,
so we'll be seeing you soon.
Yeah, oh yeah. While you said that,
and then
I got something to announce.
Yeah, our next stop is Chicago, and then my personal next stop is Houston. Mm-hmm. So we'll be out there. We'll be out there in Chicago soon, and so we look forward to having a beautiful time.
And just real quick for the brothers and sisters that's up in Chicago and Cleveland and anybody in the surrounding area, we will be holding the Feast of Purim in Chicago, March 14th through the 15th. The Feast of Purim in Chicago, March 14th through the 15th. Mark that.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, we'll be there. We'll be there for that.
Yep.
We'll be there for that.
And I'm gonna drop it in the chat real quick. I just actually got the time confirmed a few hours ago, so I'm more than welcome, to join us. You see the emails down there floating at the bottom, and you also see mine in the chat. If you got questions, you can email me or the brother Barak.
You might need to copy and paste my email real quick onto the chat, just because I don't see it coming. I don't know why this is happening.
It depends on which link you're on. I don't.
Oh, I'm not on the Houston link. I'm on the
Which link
I'm
you're
on
on?
New York. Oh, I'm on the New York joint.
But it still should be popping up across the ticker. It still should be coming because I'm on there. I'm on the New York link too, but I got you, King.
Okay.
Let me just pull it up real quick.
Hey, she rocking hard with you, King.
Yeah. Man, this is it's like my other daughter, man.
It's beautiful, man. It's so beautiful, and that's what the world don't want us to show them.
Con. Give me
I
one
put
second.
it in the private chat.
Okay, con out of one con. Yeah, but I was just gonna do it.
Yeah, so definitely we'll be out there for that, man. So just prepare for us, man. We'll come out there for that.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely got to make it. I'll be in Houston before that, though. But yeah, we'll be out there in Chicago. We go to MacArthur's.
MacArthur's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they got some decent food over there. It's
Hey,
decent.
I like it.
It ain't good as it used to be, but I only grabbed one thing up out of there. What do you call those things? I forgot.
All right, so where do you go?
They got like some beef ribs. They got beef ribs up in there. That's what I like. I eat almost anywhere, as long as it's clean. The food's clean, and it ain't a bunch of hooligans hanging out all night, day and night. If I feel like I gotta go up in there with, with 2 guns and Barack with a gun and Ariel with a gun and my wife with a gun, then we ain't going.
That last place you took us to had some hooligans in there.
Yeah, but that was like at 3-4 o'clock in the morning, man. Y'all was on some late night one to eat stuff. They talking about where's out west.
It was fine with me. I just I wanted the food to be good. I can die over chicken wing. I don't mind that.
Yeah. We went up in this little joint in the hood on Central and Madison, and they had the Jakes out there and the Arabs out there selling everything under the sun. People in the restaurant acting like straight.
Look, I go through that. Listen, man, I go through that all the time when I'm in Brooklyn. I live in Queens. I'm in Jamaica. I'm in South Jamaica. I go through that all the time. It ain't even no big deal, man.
God.
It's all good.
Yeah. And, and it's good for me because, I'm from the neighborhood and, and as you notice, Chief People, when we walked up in there, no, she's fine. Yeah. When we walked up in there, you notice they sensed that aura around us. They saw.
Yeah. I remember that.
All of a sudden, everybody was watching us and then all of a sudden, started leaning into the conversations about what.
Matter of fact, they were kind of calm. They were really calm when we walked up in there. It was questions. You know what I'm saying? They were asking us questions and they were really listening, man. So that was the spirit of the Most High. I didn't expect that because the surrounding place, I was like, God damn, it's like me being in Brooklyn.
Hey, the city don't sleep, man. They don't stay.
Hey, I loved it. I loved it. It was comfortable. I loved it.
Kind out of wine. Well, I'll make sure the next time y'all come up here, have even more fun. It's just gonna be a little colder because that was in the summertime. Yeah, or early fall rather. Yeah.
It is what it is, man. It's all good though. All praise to the Most High, man. Why y'all was shy?
Kind. And on that note, family, it's going on. We're on the 3-hour period. 2 hours and 45 minutes. I know it's going on 11 o'clock my time. Y'all hit midnight on y'all time, so we're not going to hold y'all much longer.
That's it.
All praises to the Most High that you all endure with us again, that you guys show love to us, can't spend your Shabbat with us. And we just give all praises to the Most High and His Son, man. And we just continue to pray for Israel. We love y'all. And if y'all definitely looking for a home, man, Alpha Omega Clan, we definitely are family. Come in, do the first works, prove yourself as a brother and a sister, and everything else, like the scripture says, will be bestowed upon you through the Most High in Christ. Become that righteous vessel, man. The scripture says the harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. So we definitely need men. So I'm definitely looking forward to building with that brother, and we can take it from there. And on that note, we're gonna say Shabbat Shalom, Mashal Shabbat, and y'all have a beautiful night with your family.
Hey, and let me just say, man, and when we coming down to Chicago, man, so If brothers and sisters want to come and hang out with us, man, hey, invite them. Invite them to come down and hang out. We're definitely coming down there. Cleveland was a wonderful trip. We had a great time. And so hey, let them come down there, man. Let's build on them. Hey, let it be a party for the Most High.
Con. And yo, I'll tell you something. When the Ambassadors of Christ party, man, it's a party.
Yeah. It is. I'm getting a little too old for it, but yeah, it's cool.
Hey, it took me like 2.5 days to recuperate when them brothers went back to New York, man. It took me about.
Hey, man, it was like a week for me, man. Hey, I'm still recuperating from that Cleveland trip last weekend.
Yeah, con.
But all praises, man.
And yes, sir, Brother Davis. Hopefully, we'll see you soon, man. Shoot me an email, and I'll shoot you my math, man, so we can get on the phone and chop it up. Even as early as tomorrow morning. I'm usually up about 6 o'clock on 5:30, 6 o'clock on the Shabbat anyway.
Con.
Oh wow! I just realized, Adiyar, that's my rib up in here commenting. Wow, I didn't realize that was my rib up in here commenting the whole time. So we changed her name from Adara to Adiyaria. So we gave her one in the Lashawan. All right, Shabbat Shalom, family. You want to say Shabbat Shalom to the family?
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
All right, tuning out, y'all. Shalom. Most High Christ bless.